Welcome, adventure enthusiasts and documentary lovers, to the world's most dangerous places on Earth. Number 1. Death Valley National Park, USA. Sitting between California and Nevada, Death Valley National Park is a land of extreme heat. With the highest recorded temperature of 56.6 degrees Celsius, it's officially the hottest place on Earth. And the valley's name is well-deserved, with some hikers losing their lives to the extreme conditions in the past. The sun's concentrated energy here is deadly and downright uncomfortable, even though over 1 million visitors head to the park every year to see the Badwater Basin. The sailing stones on Racetrack Playa are also a big pull, thanks to their mystery. But the extremes switch during winter when the temperatures plunge and occasionally reach freezing during the nights. The rainy seasons in the surrounding mountains also bring the dangers of flash floods to the valley. Number 2. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Getting up close and personal to lava oozing in bright orange bursts of color from the barren black rock landscape of an active volcano is a thrill, that's for sure. And there are boat tours and guided lava hikes that specialize in just this. The Hawaii Volcanoes National Park is actually a World Heritage Site and home to Mount Kilauea, which hasn't stopped erupting since 1983. But these tours have an element of danger to them. The splashing sea water is often scalding from the constant outpouring of molten rock into its waves. And other hazards like flying rocks and sulfurous fumes have caused casualties and even deaths over the years. So you have to weigh up the risk versus the benefit. Number 3. Skeleton Coast, Africa. From the south of Angola to the northern areas of Namibia, the Skeleton Coast is a barren stretch of coastline with a harsh climate. It also offers almost no chance of survival should you find yourself unlucky enough to be marooned here. There's no food or fresh water to be had, and the dry desert winds would dehydrate you pretty fast, combined with the open dunes offering no shade for relief from the sun. The sands are also littered with the bones of whales, seals, and even elephants along the shores, either washed up already dead or driven to the sea by thirst and dying later on. Number 4. Gates of Hell, Turkmenistan. The Gates of Hell sounds like a terrifying place to see, but its geological origins are innocent enough. It's a natural gas field inside an underground cave which geologists set on fire in 1971 to prevent methane from spilling into the atmosphere. The result is Turkmenistan Darvaza gas crater, 230 feet wide with burning hotspots of orange flames and boiling mud spreading 200 feet long and 66 feet deep. It's located in the middle of the Karakum Desert near the village of Derwiz and makes for quite the sight in the desert landscape at night. Number 5. Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is the deepest place on Earth, reaching almost 7 miles below the surface of the Atlantic. It's pitch dark and freezing cold, but the extreme pressure is the real killer, a bone-crushing 8 tons per square inch. Because it's the collision site of 2 massive tectonic plates, volcanic activity in the form of hydrothermal vents exists in places along the rift. Temperatures directly near the vents can reach 572 degrees Fahrenheit. The fluids that come from the vents are highly acidic, too. Nonetheless, there are bacteria, crustaceans, octopi, and fish that have evolved and adapted to the harsh conditions. Number 6. Skellig Michael Mountain, Ireland. Although tourism to this spot is on the rise since its appearance in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, it's still a pretty dangerous place to go to Skellig Michael Mountain. It's a rocky, rugged island with wild waves surrounding it and 600 uneven stone steps to navigate if you want to reach the ancient monasteries. Oftentimes the seas are too rough or tides are too high for boats to dock, and rock falls and challenging weather make the uphill hike even more treacherous. As a result, the government only grants 4 boat licenses for this location each year, and the number of tourists allowed to visit has been limited. Number 7. Mount Sinabung, Indonesia. Mount Sinabung is one of the most active volcanoes in Indonesia, making living on the island a risky choice. It lay dormant for 400 years before suddenly springing to life in a dramatic eruption in 2010, posing a deadly threat to the communities that had been built up around its base. Since then, it erupted from September 2013 until August 2018, and then again for 4 months in 2019. It opened its maw and belched out ash and lava once more from August 2020 until September 2021. Residents continue to return to cultivate their lands, despite the risk. Number 8. Lake Nyos, Cameroon. Lake Nyos is what's known as an exploding lake, and it's one of 3 in Cameroon. Its danger is thanks to unseen volcanic activity. The lake sits on top of a large magma pocket, and unsafe gases like carbon dioxide leak into the lake's waters, forming carbonic acid. The lake itself ends up becoming volatile and likely to erupt. Back in 1986, the eruptions of Lake Nyos killed 1,746 people and 3,500 livestock because of invisible gases leaking from its waters. Number 9. Cave of Crystals, Mexico. The Cueva de los Cristales, or Cave of Crystals, is a wonder that holds possibly the largest crystals in the world. They're mostly opaque white gypsum crystals and are frankly enormous, large enough to climb at lengths of 36 feet. However, the cave itself is inhospitable for all its beauty. It's 984 feet below the Sierra de Nica mountain, sitting on top of a magma intrusion, so the temperatures reach 56.6 degrees Celsius and the humidity is normally 90% to 99%. If you entered the cave without proper gear, fluid would condense in your lungs, which could end up being fatal. Number 10. Gouffre Berger Cave, France. It's also known as the Cave of Death. Pretty dramatic, but it's earned its nickname by claiming the lives of some intrepid explorers. It's over 3,000 feet deep with a steep descent, and if the weather suddenly turns to rain, there's a large risk of flooding in the cave. Mostly only very skilled climbers tackle this bucket list descent, as it can take 15 to 30 hours to return to the surface once you've reached the bottom. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling adventure. Stay tuned for more explorations of our fascinating world.